In this video, I'm going over the biggest mistake I made as a footballer, and the reason I want to go over this is so that you guys can avoid this mistake, because if you also make this same mistake, which is completely avoidable by the way, it's just going to hurt your career, it's going to prevent you from moving up the levels faster, and it's also going to lead to injury later on if you don't take care of it. So that's coming up next. I'm finally facing it all, fearless. What's up guys? If you're new to the channel, my name is Dave and this is Simply Soccer, where we are helping you improve your game and stand out on the pitch. And we do that by releasing weekly soccer tip, technique, and training videos. So if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button and bell icon so you don't miss any of the videos we release for free here on the channel. Now, like I said, I want to go over one of the biggest mistakes I made as a footballer, especially when I was younger, that you don't need to make. You don't need to go through this. And I want you to learn about this now so you don't make the same mistake. Also, before we get started, if you haven't gotten my free ebook Game Changer, download that for free down below. It's an incredible ebook with 33 different ways to help you improve your game and stand out on the pitch. Again, absolutely free, linked down below. So like anyone who's had a bit of life experience, has gone through certain things, there are many lessons and many mistakes you go through, and the best way to go through a mistake is obviously to learn from it. But when I look back, especially when I was a teenager, maybe my early 20s, at some of the bigger mistakes I made in my career that had I not made these mistakes or I paid more attention to them and then learned from them faster, could have changed the trajectory of my life as a footballer. There's one that stands out more than the others. Now again, there's a lot, no player that gets to a certain age doesn't go through a lot of mistakes and a lot of failures, but I want to go over one that if you're not taking care of this area, if you are making this same mistake that I was making, you need to start looking at it right now and start fixing it, correcting it, moving in a different direction. And that is not looking after your body or your fitness as much as you could. Now, when I was a younger player, I was fit and, I obviously took care of my body to a certain extent. You just can't function in this sport if you don't. Football is one of the most physically demanding sports out there. There are very few sports like it where you run the amount of distances, sprint, burst, pivot. You do need strength. You do need your body to be strong in all areas, or there's going to be compensation. There's going to be deficiencies in certain areas, which will lead to injuries. So you have to be a certain level of fitness. But I was always that kind of player who really didn't want to focus too much on, building myself up physically, on doing extra fitness drills or all these other things. I just wanted to get the ball down at my feet. I just wanted to go to the field and have fun and shoot the ball and do training that I found fun. So a lot of my training would help my fitness, would help my body in different ways, but I didn't deliberately train enough my body, recovery, and learn the things I needed to learn that were going to help me later on. And because of this, it led to injuries. I got my first injury, I think, I used to get inflammation in my knee, which, wasn't really anything to do with me. I had growing pains. But my first serious injury, I got like 17, 18, kept me out for a little bit. And then from there, I kept getting not necessarily big injuries. I had one more big injury and then a reoccurrence of that injury to my back. But after that, I kept getting little injuries, where I'd be out for a few weeks here and there with a knee injury or my back flaring up or tightness or a little pull in one of my muscles because it was compensating for something else that had been injured in my past. And these always stopped my momentum because I didn't take the time to learn how to take care of my body when I was younger, to do the strength training I needed to do to strengthen up my body to prevent these injuries, to learn how to, or to consistently be stretching and doing the mobility, even on days when I wasn't doing training, to learn how to take care of my body from a nutritional standpoint so that I could recover faster, I could function better. All of these little things help. And a lot of these things, a lot of players don't do as much as they should because I get it. They're not fun. They're not boring. The most fun thing about football is getting the ball down to your feet, is beating players one-on-one, is scoring the goals and all that different stuff. But if you want to be someone who can play at a higher level and stay there longer, taking care of your body is one of the most important things that you can do. And what I didn't do, and the mistake I made, is I didn't leave no stone unturned when it came to looking after my body. You know, if I could go back, I would go back to like my 16-year-old self, 15-year-old self, and I would explain to that version of myself, that 15-year-old Dave, you know, how to look after his body, how to eat nutritionally. And I would say, look, if you want to be the best player you can be, which I did, this is what you need to do. You need to do these recovery techniques. You need to be consistently doing this mobility, strength, flexibility training. You know, you need to be doing these fitness drills, the speed, agility training, because if you do, you're a very skillful player. You have all these other things you're so great at, the actual physical skills with the ball at your feet, but your body's going to break down if you don't take care of it. You're not going to be able to last as long in matches. You're not going to be able to recover as fast, you know, as you get older. You know, at 15, you can recover from, you know, you can play forever and it's fine. You'll recover. Nothing's going to happen. You know, you usually don't get injured at that age, but as you grow and get older, you will. And I would have told that younger version of myself to do those things. And so if you guys are younger, you're at that age, 15, maybe even younger, maybe a little bit older, one of the things you really need to start incorporating into your weekly training schedule is recovery, is strength training, is rest as well. Also understanding recovery and rest is just as important as the strength training. It's just as important as the fitness. You know, you need to start really learning how to do those things as much as you've learned how to do the stuff with the ball. For many of you, you probably have learned how to get better at your skills, how to get better at your shooting, to fashion training sessions that help you develop these areas. But if you haven't learned how to physically grow, if you haven't learned how to improve your fitness, if you haven't learned how to recover quickly and in a way that allows your body to get the rest and recovery it needs to perform and also prevent injuries, if you haven't done that yet, that is one of the biggest mistakes you can make if you continually remain ignorant in that area. And one of the biggest recommendations I would give to you is just heavily research it. Watch the videos, read the material, implement the advice in these areas, because if you do, it's only going to help you become a better footballer over time, and it's most importantly going to prevent things like injuries. It's going to prevent things like unnecessary fatigue. It's going to encourage faster recovery, and all of those little things add up to you having a better career, of being able to become better. It's those background things that sometimes go neglected that are so important. So guys, that, when I look back, was one of the biggest mistakes I made. And as a result, you know, I got injured a lot. You know, it's just kind of a cause and effect. You know, if you don't look after that area, of course you're going to get injured. Of course you're going to not be able to play as much. Of course you're going to get also disheartened because you're getting injured. So do yourself a favor, if you haven't done much research in that area, if you haven't been doing the recovery, the strength training, all that stuff, start learning. You don't have to do it all at once. You don't have to take in everything at once and have to know everything at once. You just start with little steps, but the more you can learn about this, the more you can implement this, the better a player you're going to be, and the more pitfalls you're going to avoid as you get better. Anyway, guys, question of the day is, how much do you dedicate to your strength training, your speed training, your fitness, your recovery, mobility? Let me know down in the comments below. Thank you so much for tuning into the video. Download my free ebook again if you haven't already. It's free down below. I'll put 2 other videos up on screen, and I will see you in the next video.